before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, so Week 16 of the NFL season is coming to a close, and for the Chicago Bears, they take a 35-13 loss to the Buffalo Bills on Christmas Eve. In this video, I'm just going to give you all my quick thoughts on the game, give grades for offense, defense, special teams, and of course coaching. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? Casey here, back at it with another video. Today, we're doing the Bears. The Bears take a loss on Saturday, on Christmas Eve, to the Buffalo Bills, in a game that really wasn't competitive until late. That really wasn't competitive at any point. But before we start the video, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Yes, it is that time of year again, where we hang out with our families, open gifts, and think about all things we're thankful for, and yeah, celebrate the holiday. So thank you guys for rocking with me, and let's get straight into the video. I'm not gonna hold y'all for too much longer. The elephant in the room, as always. How did Justin Fields play on Saturday? I thought he played okay. Just okay, and I'll get into that in a minute. But he was 15 of 23 for 119 yards passing. He only averaged 7 yards per throw. We'll get into that in a minute. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He took 2 sacks. He had a 92.5 quarterback rating. I mean, what can you do when you're Justin Fields and your coach doesn't draw up good plays for you? It felt like the play calling was conservative all game. And, it felt like they really didn't put the ball in Fields' hands a lot. He didn't run the ball a lot. They didn't let him throw downfield basically at all, except for one play. He did what he could do. He only passed the ball 23 times. Part of that is because they had nobody to pass to, as Claypool was out again. And, we had guys like N'Keal Harry out there, Dante Pettis. A lot of guys dropped passes as well. But I felt like Fields did okay with what he had, what he was being provided with in terms of play calling. The 1 touchdown to Dante Pettis was a wide open throw in the back corner of the end zone, and that was his best play of the game, and that was his most notable play of the game. But other than that, he played kind of pedestrian game for him. Part of that is because of the weather, most of it is because of play calling. So yeah, okay day for Justin Fields. For rushing the ball, 16 attempts for David Montgomery for 62 yards. He only averaged 3 yards per carry. No touchdowns. His longest run was for 28 yards. Justin Fields, a rare 7 attempt day for him with only 11 yards, and he only averaged 1.6 per scramble. Again, play calling was pretty bad on Saturday, and I felt like they did not draw up, good plays for their running game. Too many plays to go into the outside, too many toss plays on 3rd and 3. Not enough creativity in the run game, no QB option, no QB power. Not getting Montgomery going through the tackles. Khalil Herbert actually made his debut again after coming off of IR. He only had 6 attempts for 7 yards, and they didn't even use him right. So the rushing game was kind of stymied. Part of that is because the Bills' defensive line was just so talented, and they were dominating the Bears' offensive line. They were getting to the point of attack, getting to the right gaps. So it is what it is. But I felt like play calling did not put the rushing game in a position to be successful. I felt like they were very monotone. And, the Bears paid for it on Saturday because rushing the ball is one of their biggest strengths on this team. And when they can't do that, especially when Justin Fields isn't running the ball, they're going to struggle on offense, and this is what you get. Receiving, rare Velus Jones sighting. He had 4 targets, 2 receptions, 52 yards. Receiving, he caught that 44-yard pass from Justin Fields in a play he actually had to catch up with. Fields led him exactly to the spot he wanted him to go, and Velus was able to catch it. So, he also had a pretty good day on kick return, but I'd like to see Velus get involved in the receiving game a little bit more. He's starting to come around a little bit after his last game where he fumbled. He heard some of the criticism, and he came out. He played pretty well on Saturday. But other than that, receiving game was basically non-existent. Byron Pringle was our second leading receiver. He only had 2 catches for 34 yards. Cole Kmet only had 5 catches for 27 yards, but they had to use him as a blocker for most of the game. Dante Pettis caught the lone touchdown pass, but he couldn't catch anything else, for the entirety of the game. And it just felt like the Bears receivers did not get open downfield. It just felt very monotone on offense. I did not like the offensive play calling. I'm going to continue to say that. But again, at the end of the day, I said it during the prediction video, the Bills' defense compared to this Bears' offense, the Bears' offense just isn't talented enough. And with guys missing like Mooney and Claypool, they're going to struggle. So overall, not a good day for the offense. Now we go to the defensive side of the ball. That's a different story. Defense played really well, especially for the first 3 quarters. They played really, really well. Nicholas Morrow was our leading tackler. He had 8 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Kyler Gordon had a great game. Got yet another pick to his name. That's 3 on the year for him. And he's doing his thing right now. He's getting used to playing coverage. He's anticipating those throws by some of these quarterbacks. I really like the Kyler Gordon pick, especially coming out of Washington. They had 2 corners that came out of Washington that were pro ready, and Kyler Gordon, he's making an impression on me, and he's starting to get his rhythm in the league. Just give him a little bit more time to get some of the finer details down, and he'll be good. Jaquan Brisker, our other rookie, is also had a sack on Saturday. He's our leading sack guy on this team. He only has 4 on the year, but that just shows how talent deprived that defensive line is for the Bears. They can get no pressure, and it showed up on Saturday. Allen had time. There was a time where he had 10 seconds to throw, and he still threw a pick. But other than that, they couldn't really get pressure on Allen. A lot of rushing lanes for Allen, and he kind of killed us on the ground. Especially the rushing game for the Bills was incredible. They had 242 yards. James Cook looked like his brother. Devin Singletary was breaking off huge runs. So that defensive line is definitely a matter of concern. I did like how Josh Blackwell played in the secondary. But other than that, the linebacking core, the defensive line, they're gonna need some fixes for that. Obviously, the loss of Jack Sanborn, makes this a little bit difficult on the Bears defense. But still, you need more talented linebackers. You need more talented D linemen. If they fix that, I think the Bears will be good. But they need to find a way to start getting some guys that can get the pressure on the quarterback. So defense played pretty well. Special teams, Cairo Santos had a good day. 2 for 2 on field goals, 1 for 1 on extra points, and he accounted for 7 of our points on Saturday. He was actually one of our main contributors on offense. Velus Jones, as previously mentioned, had a really good kick return day. 4 returns for 113 yards and averaged 28.3 yards per return. Punt return, punt return. So I'm just going to get into the grades. Offense, in terms of just the offense in general, as far as how the players played, I thought they did their best. So I'm going to give them a C. I felt like they played hard. I just felt like they weren't put in a position, to score points or even move the ball, accordingly upfield. But Justin Fields, he did what he could. David Montgomery, he did what he could. It's just more talent on that Bills defense. Defense for the Bears, I'm gonna give them a B+. I felt like they played well. They turned the ball over multiple times on the Bills. They intercepted Josh Allen twice. They forced fumbles. They were doing everything that Matt Eberflus has preached on this team, is get takeaways and play hard, play with effort, and they're doing that. I really like our 2 rookies. Some more talent on that defense will definitely help for next year, but I'm going to give them a B+. I felt like they played pretty well on Saturday. Special teams, I'm going to give special teams an A. Cairo Santos, he did his thing. He hit his field goals, hit his extra points. Really impressed with Velus Jones in the kick return category. So, there's that. That was a plus side. Coaching, I'm going to give them a straight F. Luke Getsy called his worst game of the season, and it's not even close. That was basically a pathetic attempt at offensive play calling. There was no effort to move the ball upfield, no effort to try to get yards, no effort to try to get points. I felt like Alan Williams, he called his best game of the season. He didn't get rewarded for it. So, I'm going to give the coaching an F. I felt like Luke Getsy didn't put his players in a position to succeed, especially on the offensive side. But yeah, the Bears take another loss. They still have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. There's a scenario where the Texans win out or win another game and the Bears lose out and they get the number 1 overall pick. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. It helps the channel grow. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these Bears videos. Follow me on social media. And Merry Christmas. Bear down.